Welcome to another week of Philadelphia Eagles football, where the Philadelphia Eagles today will be taking on the Carolina Panthers. Now, in the beginning of this season, of course, when you see this game on the schedule, you look, okay, you got Cam Newton against Mike Vick, you got all these big superstars on both sides, you know, Steve Smith versus Deshaun Jackson, Cam Newton versus Michael Vick, whose defense is going to show up, and it's going to be a pretty exciting game. The two people that should be fighting over playoff positions. Well, Cam Newton has hit in the sophomore year wall. Mike Vick's, of course, not playing. McCoy's not playing because of concussions. Nick Foles is in, and this does not look like a Monday night game. You have one team that's, I believe, 2-8, another team that is 3-7, and the loser of this game will be a solid last place in the NFC. So I know I've read a little bit about what other people are saying. There's still some things to fight for and play for. Let's be realistic. We're playing to not be last in the NFC right now. Normally, in this part of the season, this is actually a pretty exciting part of the season as a fan when you're kind of in it, where you start looking at the schedule of all the other teams and seeing, okay, this person has to play this, and we need these kind of tiebreakers, and this is how we can pull out a division win and win the division, or this is how we can pull out a wild card kind of win, and this is important for here. And that's what I normally do during this time of the season, because this is where the positioning of the playoffs start to happen, and then you can look forward to the postseason. I'll be honest too, I was even going a little nuts last night before the Giants came, because I was thinking, you know, if the Giants lose to the Packers, which the Packers have been pretty good as of late, then we could win this game and be 2 games out. Of course, looking at the score and how the Giants completely destroyed the Packers, kind of got rid of that crazy idea that I was even going down that road. But forget about all those other teams, because it's about the Eagles. Now, you can't really try to hype up too much. Yes, this is Nick Foles' second start, and I really think that he's going to be a good quarterback. He needs an offensive line. And without an offensive line, he obviously, you see, doesn't have any time to throw. So you have to do something different with the offense, otherwise you're going to kill your rookie. So that means, I believe, you have to run the ball more to control the clock. Right? Control the ball, control the clock, and make the defense think run all the time. McCoy's not in. Now, he hasn't been as crazy as he was last year. Hence, you know, Jason Peters not being in, I wonder why somebody's rushing yards has gone down. So offensive line is very important for a lot of reasons, right? But we have Bryce Brown in, and I actually like Bryce Brown. He's another one of those younger guys that I think we need to keep on our team for a long time. And one other person is going to be playing tonight, and I hope playing extensively, and I kind of want to highlight that person, which is Vinny Curry. He's a hometown kind of guy, and he's been an Eagles fan his entire life, and obviously he's going to have the place packed for his family at home just to see him play. Maybe that was an idea that Lurie and Reed has, like, hey, nobody might want to come to this game, you know, put this guy in, because at least he's going to have some family come down and maybe they'll buy some tickets. Because I don't know about you, I'm not about buying a bunch of tickets to watch this football team play like this right now. I'm definitely going to watch tonight. I watched all last week, and that was painful too. But it is what it is. Tonight, I can't even give you any kind of prediction on what I think is going to happen or not. I mean, do I want us to be smart? Yeah. It's getting kind of crazy with all the press conferences now, where they're flat out asking Andy Reid, when are you gonna quit? Are you gonna resign in the middle of the season or not? And you have to expect from Andy Reid, he's not going to ever just quit. He's going to have to get fired. But he's never just going to go quit, which is still the right answer. You know, and a lot of the players are still saying the right answer. But instead of going through all that, we got to start looking towards the future. And, of course, we need a lot of stuff on our team. And I think there's some people we need to build around, because we need to pretty much be under construction, which switches our hat again. I mean, we went from the beginning of the season wearing this hat to going old school because we want our old school defense back. So now, we're going to be, I don't know if I can fit this on my big head, under construction. I'll fix this while I'm talking. So we'll be under construction now. Okay? There we go. There we go. Under construction hat. Now I got the wings and everything. So what do we need to do? We need to start all over again. Now you cannot really go into special teams because special teams is made up of all the people that are trying to make the team or whatever. So offense and defense, who in the world would I pick to keep on the team? Real fast, I would pick Nick Foles. I want him to stay. Bryce Brown, LaShawn McCoy, want him to stay. D-Jack, Macklin, I want those guys to stay. And Avant, I'd like those guys to stay. What we do need on offensive side of the ball, it's easy to say the offensive line. We need an offensive line. We need a big one. We need to go back to, and it sounds crazy, we need to go back to a Juan Castillo type offensive line because obviously we did pretty good when he was the offensive line coach. We went over defense, that's a good offensive line. So we need that. We need a big receiver. One thing we don't have is a big wide receiver that other teams are actually afraid of, that can catch over the middle and can deliver a hit on somebody else. Also, we need a tight end. Like all these other teams are getting these big basketball type tight ends that can box people out essentially and catch balls. Why in the world we don't have one? And now it looks like even Selk's going down the tubes, and I don't even know what in the world Clay Harbor's doing. We need an impact tight end, and there's plenty of people that you can draft that might not make the NBA, but they can make our team, and that's what we need. So we need those kind of people. I don't know if I've left anybody out, but if they're not jumping out on me, then we kind of don't need them. Defensive side is even worse. Defensive side, we have a couple people that I think do well, and then everybody else, I'm going to go ahead and say it, and I said it last week, Asomugha is overrated. I think he's overrated. Got burned again, and I've heard rumors. I didn't see it for myself, so I'm not going to say it's fact, but he's got his own TV show, and he's talking about how when he got burnt, it wasn't his fault. I understand zone coverages, and I understand that safety might have to, but you know what? You might have to pick up, as much as they're paying you, Asomugha, you might have to pick up some slack and recognize what's happening on the defense and try to do your best to pick up for some of the things that the safeties aren't doing. That's what a team does, and you don't call out your teammates on TV. You don't do that. Oh, what's my fault? No, they're paying you a lot of money for you to what? Get burned every week? Now you play against Steve Smith. That's why on defense, I would not keep Asomugha going forward. He has a big contract that's keeping us from getting other people that can create a core of this team that can do really well. You can get a lot of corners straight out of college that can play man-to-man, and I think that's what we should go to in the future and get rid of these big contracts. I'd keep DRC. I would keep D'Amico because I don't think he's doing bad. Doesn't stop you from drafting another middle linebacker, but I would keep him, and I would keep Michael Kendricks. Outside of that, there's nobody really jumping at me. I know there's some fan favorites with Trent Cole. He likes shooting bows and arrows and stuff. I get it. Fletcher Cox, new guy, young guy. I would keep him on the squad because, we just drafted him and he's not a bust yet. But I'm not going to say that he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Right here, this is just a reality check for us as Philadelphia fans. Tonight's game, yeah, it is construction. They're talking about fight and this and the other thing. The season's starting to become over for us, and that's pretty sad and pathetic. But tonight is a pride thing. At the very least, I want us to be better than Dallas. When we play Dallas next week, if we win tonight and win next week, at least we're not in complete last place. But we got to focus on tonight. Tonight's pretty much like a paper bag game. The loser of today's game next week should be wearing a paper bag on their head. And I think you guessed it. That's probably what I'll be doing next week. If we lose tonight, next week's video, I'm going to have a paper bag on my head, not a construction hat, because we're going to have a long way to go other than just that. We're going to have to do a lot of cuts, maybe sooner rather than later. But this is our home. This is Philly. I wonder how packed the stadium's going to be for a Monday night game. That doesn't matter. I still want us to show our green, and be proud of something. But at the same time, as Eagles fans, we're not dumb. So we understand we need a long ways away to get back to where we want to be. Or forget about getting back. How about to win the Super Bowl, which we've never been? And that's just reality right there. We'll talk more about coaches and some other things, but let's worry about tonight. Construction night, let's see if we can build on something. Get it? Build, construction, whatever. Let's see if we can build on something, and let's see if we can get some positive stuff, like a touchdown, you know, and let's see if we can build drives and not have to do gimmick plays against the worst team in the NFC. Let's be tough. Let's root for Curry. Welcome home. I hope you play well. Bryce Brown, I hope you have more than 100 yards rushing. And Foles, I hope you get some kind of protection after you run the football and keep the defense all balanced. Okay? Go Birds. Let's not be the worst team in the NFC. Please help me not wear a paper bag next week. Go Eagles.